The observatory's alarm screamed at 3:17 a.m. Not the usual beeps for a supernova or asteroid, but a bone-chilling wail reserved for contact. Dr. Lila Rhodes stumbled into the control room, still tasting coffee and dread, as the monitors flickered with a message no human should have seen. Not from a star. Not her star. The coordinates matched her mother's final, redacted mission. And the words? 5 of them, pulsing like a cosmic SOS. Tell Earth I'm sorry. But apologies, Lila knew, were never just words. Not when the sky began bleeding red an hour later. Not when the birds stopped singing. And certainly not when the dying star's whisper carried the exact lilt of her mother's voice. Before we start, please, subscribe to the channel by clicking the card button on the top right corner and hitting the notification bell so you can get amazing daily stories as and when published. Please do comment your views about the story or any topic that you want to get a story on. We'll make it happen. Let's dive into the story. The observatory's alarms shattered the silence at 3:17 a.m., their shrill screams echoing down the sterile hallway. Dr. Lila Rhodes jerked awake at her desk, a half-empty coffee cup slipping from her grip. Dark liquid splattered across star charts as she bolted toward the control room, her form-fitting black jumpsuit clinging to her like a shadow. The fluorescent lights overhead buzzed angrily, casting sharp reflections off the silver pendant around her neck, a tiny constellation her mother had given her years ago. Jax Monroe was already hunched over the main console when she burst in, his tattooed fingers dancing across holographic keys. The sleeves of his worn leather jacket rode up, revealing inked equations snaking down his forearms. "Took you long enough, Rhodes," he said without looking up, his voice rough with sleep. "Signals coming in hot from Sector Vega 9, 1,000 light years out. And before you ask, no, it's not pulsars." Lila leaned over his shoulder, her auburn hair falling in a curtain as screens flickered with jagged crimson waveforms. "That's structured." She tapped a trembling finger against the central monitor. "Amplify the lower frequencies." "Already did." Jack smirked, punching a command. The room filled with a low, throbbing hum that made their teeth ache. "Hear that? It's out rhythm, like a heartbeat, or a language." They froze as the system pinged, once, twice, before spitting out a translation. The words glowed neon green in the dark. "Tell Earth I'm sorry." Jax let out a bark of laughter. "Okay," which in turn hacked the mainframe. Not funny, guys. But Lila wasn't listening. Her eyes locked onto the coordinates blinking below the message. Cold crept up her spine. "These numbers, I've seen them before. In your mom's old notes?" She whipped around to find DR. Naomi Quinn leaning against the doorway, arms crossed. Moonlight from the dome's window sharpened the astrophysicist's angular features, turning her silver-streaked curls to mercury. "The ones you've been avoiding for a decade? They're classified family records," Lila snapped, though her voice wavered. Naomi strode forward, heels clicking like gunshots. "Your mother was the brightest mind NASA ever lost. If she tagged that star before her ship vanished, don't." Lila's fist clenched around her pendant. The sharp edges bit into her palm. Jax swiveled his chair, eyes narrowed. "Wait, you're saying Mama Rhodes knew about a talking star? And you never thought to mention it? It wasn't talking then." The words burst out louder than she intended. For a heartbeat, the only sound was the erratic beeping of the signal. Naomi leaned in, her perfume sweet orange and burnt metal, filling the space between them. "Run the coordinates through her old research database." "I don't have access. Try your birthday." Lila's breath caught. For years, she'd refused to open the encrypted files from her mother's last mission. Now her fingers moved on their own, typing the date she'd shared with the woman who'd missed 6 of her childhood birthdays. The screen bloomed with familiar handwriting. "Evelyn Rhodes, Mission Log 43, Sector Vega, 9 exhibits abnormal decay patterns. Hypothesis, External intelligence accelerating stellar death cycle. Jax whistled low. External intelligence? You think she found what? Aliens? Worse. Naomi pointed at the live feed. The star's ultraviolet readings spiked violently on the monitors, painting their faces in sickly blue light. She found something that outlived its own sun. And whatever it is, it's asking for forgiveness. Lila touched the pendant again, the constellation digging into her skin like a warning. Somewhere in the dark beyond their atmosphere, a dying star waited, and it knew her name. The pale glow of dawn seeped through the observatory's dome, painting the control room in watery gold. Lila stared at the holographic star map, its pulsing red coordinates burning into her retinas. Jax slumped in a swivel chair, crunching loudly on cold pizza. "Still tastes better than your coffee," he said, flicking a pepperoni at her. Naomi slammed a tablet onto the console, making them both jump. "Focus, children. I've mapped the signal's decay rate." Her manicured finger stabbed at the data. This star isn't just dying. It's devouring itself 10 times faster than physics allows. Lila leaned closer, her jumpsuit creaking. "That's impossible. Stars die over millennia, not weeks. Unless something's helping it die." Naomi swiped the screen, zooming into the star's fiery heart. A geometric shadow pulsed in the plasma. "There. That's no sunspot. Those angles, they're perfect. Manufactured." Jax choked on his soda. "You're telling me there's a Dyson sphere in there? Why hasn't anyone spotted it before?" "Because it's not ours." Lila's voice dropped. "My mother's notes. She theorized about foreign architectures and dying stars. They called her a conspiracy theorist until her ship vanished." Naomi finished bluntly. "Your mother's last transmission mentioned a harvest. Care to explain what she meant, Rhodes?" The air conditioning hummed too loud. Lila's thumb rubbed the constellation pendant raw. She thought ancient civilizations recycled stars, like lighting a match in a graveyard. Jax snorted. "So we're getting apology notes from a zombie stars daycare? Give me a break." The probe. Lila turned abruptly, her hair whipping like flame. "NASA's new quantum dawn vessel. It could reach Sector Vega, 9 in 3 weeks using wormhole slingshots." Naomi's laugh was brittle. "You want to send a billion-dollar tin can into a collapsing star? Based on what? Your mommy issues?" Lila's fist hit the console, scattering holograms. "Based on the fact that every coastal city just reported abnormal tides. Birds are falling dead from the sky in Tokyo. This isn't academic. That star's death throes are already affecting Earth." Jax froze, pizza slice dangling. "Wait, you're saying that I'm sorry message was a distress flare?" Naomi pulled up global seismic charts. Crimson lines spiked like claw marks. The star's collapse is generating subspace harmonics. Our planet's core is resonating with its death song. A shrill beep cut through the tension. Jax squinted at fresh data. Guys? The structure, it's growing." The hologram updated, showing the angular shape expanding tendrils into the star's plasma. Like it's feeding, Lila's comms badge chirped. A harried intern's voice crackled. "Dr. Rhodes? The White House is on line 7. They're asking about evacuation protocols." Naomi gripped Lila's shoulder, nails biting through fabric. "Your mother's research. Did she find a way to stop this?" For the first time, Lila's confidence flickered. She never finished. Jax spun his chair, boots thudding on the floor. "All right, existential crisis later. Let's prep the quantum dawn. I'll hack NASA's firewall again." "You'll what?" Naomi's curls trembled. "Relax, I'll leave a thank you note." His smirk faded as he met Lila's gaze. "But when we get there, you'd better know what we're looking at, Rhodes." Outside, the rising sun painted blood streaks across the sky. Lila watched a sparrow fall lifeless from the observatory roof. "We're looking at the end," she whispered, "and whatever's holding the door open." The quantum dawn shuddered as it breached the star's corona, its heat shields glowing white-hot. Lila gripped her harness, watching the view screen flicker with hellish light. Radiation levels critical. Naomi shouted over the alarms, her silver curls plastered to her sweat-slicked neck. If your mom's ghost ship isn't here, we're toast in 10 seconds flat. Jax hunched over the scanners, his leather jacket reeking of burnt wiring. There, 9 o'clock, riding the plasma stream. He jabbed a trembling finger at a jagged silhouette. Looks like a smashed spider, with NASA logos. The probe lurched as auto-docking engaged. Metal screeched like a dying animal. Lila unstrapped herself, her boots magnetizing to the shuddering floor. Suit up. And Jax. No touching anything. What? You think I'll poke the ancient death machine? He grinned, sealing his helmet. Cross my heart, Rhodes. The airlock hissed open, revealing a frozen tomb. Ice crystals glittered on walls scarred by claw-like burns. Naomi's breath fogged her visor. Atmosphere's 80% argon. No life signs. Just cold. Lila's helmet light swept across a faded mission patch. Voyager 7, 1985. Her throat tightened. This is her ship. Mom's last. A shadow moved. Jax yelped, dropping his flashlight. It rolled, illuminating skeletal remains fused to a control panel. Oh hell no. Nope. Abort mission. Wait. Lila crouched, brushing eyes from a nameplate. Commander Evelyn Rhodes. Her glove came away smeared with black residue. These burns, they're inside the metal. Like something burst out. Naomi pried open a data terminal, her breath quickening. Logs are corrupted, but there's a voice file from... Play it, Lila demanded. Static crackled. Then a voice, her mother's voice, filled the chamber. Mayday. Voyager 7 to mission control. The containment field failed. The dark matter sample. It's interacting with the star's core. Can't shut it down. A scream shredded the recording. Glass shattered in the background. They're awake. God, they're so hungry, the file cut off. Jax kicked a shattered vial across the floor. Dark matter testing? In a star? Your mom played dice with the universe, Rhodes. Lila whirled, shoving him against a frozen bulkhead. She was trying to save us. They told her the experiments could extend our son's life. Naomi held up a blackened data chip. She wasn't wrong. These logs show a 300% energy boost, right before everything went sideways. Her eyes met Lila's. Your mother didn't wake the star, Lila. She fed it. Alarms blared. The ship groaned as the dying star's light pulsed outside, casting monstrous shadows through the portholes. Movement in Sector 5. Jax's scanner chirped wildly. Heat signature, humanoid. They ran, slipping on ice-slick floors. Lila's heart hammered as her light fell on a frozen figure. A spacesuit fused to the wall, its visor shattered. The corpse's hand clutched a photo. Her own childhood face smiled up from the faded picture. Lila, don't. Naomi grabbed her arm as she reached for it. Too late. The corpse crumbled to ash. The photo fluttered down, revealing bloody scrawl on the back. Tell Earth, I'm sorry, the ship convulsed. Jax grabbed Lila's arm as a plasma tendril whipped past the window. Time's up. That star's throwing a tantrum. They fled to the probe, Naomi clutching the data chip. As the quantum dawn detached, Lila stared at the disintegrating ship. She knew. All those years ago, Mom knew what she'd unleashed. Jax slumped in his seat, uncharacteristically quiet. Yeah? Then why'd she send us the apology? Outside, the dying star flickered. Once, twice, before blazing brighter than 1,000 suns. The Pacific Ocean was boiling. From the Quantum Dawn's cockpit, Lila watched mile-high steam columns spiral into blood-red skies. San Diego's underwater, Jax muttered, scrolling disaster reports. Tokyo's on fire, and Nebraska's got a brand new volcano. Naomi slammed her fist against the console. The star's gamma bursts are cooking us like a microwave burrito. We've got maybe 48 hours before the crust cracks like an egg. Lila clutched her mother's data chip, still icy from the derelict ship. There's an answer here. Mom wouldn't have sent that message unless she wanted us to clean up her mess. Jack snapped. His usual smirk was gone, replaced by a tick in his jaw. Face it, Rhodes. Your mommy dearest woke up Cthulhu's alarm clock. The chip slipped from Lila's gloves, clattering across the floor. A hologram erupted, a spiraling code that matched the star's signal. Naomi gasped. It's a Rosetta Stone. The star's message wasn't 5 words. It's 5 million compressed into that apology. The lights dimmed as the probe's AI synthesized the data. A figure materialized, towering, translucent, its body swirling with dying galaxies. When it spoke, the walls rattled. Children of error, you returned to the scene of the crime. Jax backpedaled into a supply crate. Nope. Nah. I didn't sign up for talking constellations. Lila stepped forward, her reflection overlapping the entity's chest. What are you? Why destroy us? The hologram's laugh sounded like supernovas. Destroy? We consume. Your ancestor promised a feast, a star's heart, plump with years. Instead, she offered a rotten corpse. Naomi's tablet beeped wildly. It's talking about Evelyn's dark matter injection. She tried to rejuvenate the star, but you fed it cancer. The entity leaned down, its face a vortex of collapsing stars. Now we dine on your world to balance the scales. Lila's pendant glowed white-hot. She yanked it off, revealing engraved symbols matching the hologram's patterns. Mom knew you. She made a deal with you. The probe shuddered as the entity's image flickered. A pact. Her knowledge for our patience. But little Evie, she lied. Naomi grabbed Lila's arm. The coordinates in your mom's notes, they're not spatial. They're biological. That pendant's a key. Jack stared at the glowing symbols. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Rhodes, your family's been holding cosmic Airbnb keys. The hologram lashed out, tendrils of light smashing equipment. Give the key, or watch your world die screaming. Lila clutched the pendant. How do I know you won't destroy us anyway? You don't. The entity's form collapsed into a single blinding point. But ashes can't pay debts. Alarm screamed as the probe lost altitude. Naomi wrestled with the controls. We're getting pulled into the exosphere. Jax, reroute power to no. Lila unclipped her harness. It wants the key? Let's give it a hands-on demonstration. Have you lost your mind? Jax yelled. She jammed the pendant into the data port. The hologram shrieked as symbols cascaded over its form. You want to feed? Lila shouted. Try this. The entity dissolved into screaming light. The probe stabilized as the hologram spat one final phrase. Find the cage. Or build a new one. Naomi slumped in her seat, trembling. What in God's name was that? Lila stared at the pendant's melted remains. A debt collector, and with a last payment. Outside, the ocean calmed. The red skies paled to sickly yellow. Jax wiped sweat from his brow. So we get... A new alert flashed. A seismic map showing the Atlantic rift widening. Naomi groaned. It bought us time. Maybe 12 hours. Lila opened her mother's journal to a dog-eared page. Evelyn's handwriting screamed from the margins. The cage must be relit. We need to reignite the star's core, she whispered. Trap that thing where it belongs. Jax barked a laugh. Sure, let's just grab a match and... Oh wait, we're not gods. Naomi studied the hologram's residual data. But we are thieves. Your mother stole dark matter to feed the star. What if we reverse the process? The cabin lights flickered. Somewhere below, a continent cracked, open with a sound like the earth itself screaming. Lila stood. Get NASA on the line. Tell them to prep every nuke, laser, and slingshot they've got. For what? Jax asked. She smiled grimly. A funeral pyre. Ours or theirs? The Quantum Dawn's cockpit reeked of burnt circuitry and fear. Jax slammed his fist against the sparking console. NASA says all their nukes are busy with civil unrest. You believe that? We're about to die, and Nebraska's playing Mad Max. Naomi didn't look up from her calculations, her silver curls glowing in the light of 6 holographic screens. The reversal requires precise dark matter extraction. We need to suck the cancer out of the star before reigniting it. Lila stared at the weapon schematics floating between them. A modified warhead casing filled with stolen alien tech. So we become cosmic surgeons. Great. Where's the scalpel? Right here. Naomi tossed her a cracked data crystal. Your mother's last notes. She designed a magnetic siphon, but never tested it. Jack snorted. Let me guess. It requires sticking our hands in the star's guts. Worse. Naomi zoomed the hologram. The siphon needs a physical anchor. Someone has to manually trigger it inside the containment chamber. The air thickened. Outside, the dying star pulsed like a festering wound, its light staining their faces corpse gray. Lila closed her eyes. How long would they have? 3 minutes. Maybe 4. Naomi's voice cracked. After that, the radiation. Jax kicked a drifting toolkit. It smashed into the view screen, cracking the star's reflection. This is suicide. Even if it works, that thing. He jabbed a finger at the entity's latest transmission, frozen mid-snarl. Will vaporize us before we sneeze. Lila's comms badge chirped. A child's voice cut through static. Anyone there? The ground's shaking bad in Chicago. The entity's hologram flickered to life, its form now threaded with Earth's dying screams. Little liar. You have the key. Give it, and I'll spare your pitiful species. Like you spared my mother? Lila stepped into the hologram's light, her shadow stretching across the star map. She trusted you. You changed the deal. She changed first. The entity's voice dropped to a black hole's whisper. She promised me a home. Instead, she built a prison. Naomi gasped. The cage. Evelyn didn't trap the entity. She trapped its prison inside the star. Jax froze. Wait, that thing's not the monster. It's the zookeeper. Alarms blared as the probe entered the star's chromosphere. Heat shields glowed cherry red. 90 seconds to melt down. Naomi screamed. Lila grabbed the warhead. Jax prepped the payload. Naomi, calculate the injection coordinates. And you, Jax demanded. She sealed her helmet. I'm going to have a family reunion. The airlock cycled with agonizing slowness. Lila's suit sensors screamed warnings as she crawled into the bomb bay. The entity's hologram followed, compressed into her visor display. You'll burn alone, just like her. But I'll burn bright. She armed the siphon. Her mother's pendant fused to the trigger. For what it's worth, I'm sorry too. The bay doors opened. Hell roared in. Plasma winds shredded the outer hull. Lila clung to the warhead rack as her visor cracked. Now Jax. The payload launched, a silver dart piercing the star's infected core. The siphon activated with a sound like the universe inhaling. No, the entity's hologram shattered. Radiation alerts blared. Lila, get back. Naomi's voice tore through static. Can't. She watched the siphon's tendrils pull dark matter from the star's heart. The anchor needs constant adjustment. Tell Jax her comms died. The star flared, clean, white, and hungry. Lila smiled as her mother's pendant glowed. Got your message, Mom. Loud and clear. Inside the melting probe, Jax pounded the airlock controls. She's still out there? We can. Naomi grabbed his wrist. Her tablet showed Earth's seismic activity flatlining. It worked. The stars stabilizing. At what cost? He slammed his helmet against the wall. The quantum dawn shuddered, thrown clear by the star's rebirth. On the view screen, the entity's final scream twisted into something almost human, almost sorry. Naomi opened Evelyn's journal to a hidden page. A child's drawing fluttered out. Lila's stick figure family under a smiling sun. Scrawled beneath in shaky script. Forgive me. Jax stared at the reborn star. You think she? I think, Naomi whispered. We owe them both a monument. But in the bomb bay's ashes, a single suit camera kept recording. Somewhere in the fusion fire, a shadow waved goodbye. The reborn star's light burned through the quantum dawn's cracked view screen, painting Jax's face in molten gold. Radiation levels dropping. Naomi shouted, her fingers flying over scorched controls. The siphon's working. We need to pull Lila out now. Jax wrestled with the malfunctioning airlock override. Her vitals flatlined 2 minutes ago, even if she's alive in that soup. A shockwave hit, slamming them against the bulkhead. The entity's hologram exploded into the cockpit, its form now riddled with cracks. You think fire can kill fire? It lunged at Naomi, spectral claws raking her arm. She screamed as burns bubbled through her suit. Eat plasma, Casper! Jax hurled a charge battery pack through the hologram. It shrieked, dissolving into static. Naomi clutched her seared arm. The star's core is stabilizing, but the entity's merging with it. If it completes the bond, it'll be unstoppable. Jax stared at the airlock's flickering monitor. Lila's suit beacon pulsed weakly in the inferno. Rhodes, you better be hearing this. We're coming in. You'll fry us all. Naomi grabbed his shoulder. He shook her off. You got a better idea, Brainiac? That thing's about to become God 2.0. The probe shuddered violently. A support beam snapped, barely missing Naomi's head. The structural integrity's gone. We have minutes before. Then quit yapping and help me. Jax pried opened the manual release, heat blasting through the gap. Seal the cockpit after me. If I'm not back in 90 seconds, you'll die. Been there, done that. He winked, sealing his helmet. Watch the clock, Quinn. And no tears. It messes with your mascara. The airlock opened to chaos. Jax crawled through molten debris, his visor darkening against the star's fury. Lila, you stubborn witch, where are you? A glint of silver flashed ahead. Lila's pendant fused to a crumbling beam. Her suit lay empty nearby, gloves still gripping the siphon's control rod. Oh, no, you don't. Jax lunged, grabbing the rod. You don't get to bail first. The entity materialized, its form now half star, half humanoid. Foolish thief. She's mine. Keep the receipt. Jax slammed the rod into the entity's chest. Because this goes back. White light erupted. The siphon flared, drinking the entity's essence. Starships don't scream, but the Quantum Dawn did. Jax! Naomi's voice crackled. The containment field's overloading. Get out. He dragged Lila's suit toward the airlock. Wake up, sleeping beauty. This ain't how your story ends. A spark, then static. Lila's voice whispered through his helmet. Jax, let go. He froze. Rhodes? Her suit camera flickered on. Through the feed, he saw her, alive and glowing inside the star's core, arms outstretched. You need to pilot. Tell Naomi, the cage requires a soul. The entity roared, tearing through reality. Liar, traitor, murderer. Jax hesitated. Then, with a curse, he shoved Lila's empty suit into the airlock. You'd better be right about this, Rhodes. He leapt back into fire, control rod blazing. A Darth Vader. Catch. The rod struck the entity's heart. Reality folded. Naomi screamed as the probe's engines died. Jax. Jax. Silence. Then light, pure and clean, flooded the cockpit. The star pulsed once, gently, its surface smoothing into warm gold. On the monitors, Earth's wounds began healing. Naomi slumped over the controls, tears sizzling on hot metal. You idiots. You glorious, stupid. A weak knock sounded at the airlock. She whirled. Lila's suit floated there, helmet cracked but intact. And inside, miss me? Jax rasped, his face blistered but grinning. He clutched Lila's pendant, its symbols now dark. Turns out Rhodes left a back door. Some kinda love letter to the universe. Naomi hugged him fiercely, ignoring his yelp. Don't ever do that again. Wouldn't dream of it. He held up the pendant. A tiny hologram flickered. Evelyn Rhodes, young and smiling, winking at them. Outside, the reborn star shimmered. For a heartbeat, its light formed words across the void. "Thank you." Then it faded, leaving Earth cradled in gentle twilight. Jax collapsed into a seat. "So, we're heroes." Naomi stared at the quiet monitors. "We're survivors." Somewhere in the static between stars, a laugh echoed. Familiar, warm, and finally at peace. The scent of ozone and fresh rain hung over the rebuilt observatory, its new glass dome glittering under a starscape healed of scars. Jax slumped in a beanbag chair, tossing Evelyn's pendant like a coin. 3 months. You'd think NASA could have sprung for better pizza. Naomi adjusted her eye patch, a souvenir from the entity's final attack, and glared at the holographic star map. They're too busy scrubbing alien contact from the reports. Typical. A soft chime echoed through the room. The monitors flickered, though all systems showed green. Jax froze, the pendant hovering mid-toss. "You hear that? Sounds like Mom's music box." Lila's voice. They spun toward the doorway. Empty. Naomi's tablet lit up, accessing files they'd sworn were deleted. A video log materialized, time-stamped the hour after Lila's sacrifice. Her face filled the screen, haloed by the Quantum Dawn's emergency lights. "If you're seeing this, the star's alive. And I'm not." She smiled, her burns already healing with an unnatural glow. Turns out Mom didn't just study the star. She descended from it. Generations back, a piece of its consciousness took human form. That's why the entity wanted me. I'm the last spark of its kin. Jax gripped the pendant until his knuckles whitened. "You lying martyr. You knew." On screen, Lila touched her glowing chest. "The night Mom died, she whispered a secret. We're keepers, not conquerors." I thought she meant scientists, but she meant this. The video cut to star charts from Evelyn's journals, a family tree spanning centuries, each generation marked by a celestial event. Naomi gasped. The 1986 Halley's Comet, your grandmother's death. The 2001 solar flare, when your father, every time a Rhodes died, the star pulsed. Lila's hologram walked through the room, trailing stardust. We're anchors, human enough to love Earth, star enough to calm the entity. Jax hurled the pendant. It passed through the hologram, clattering against Evelyn's old desk. A hidden drawer sprang open. Inside lay a child's drawing, a stick-figure family holding hands with a smiling star. Scrawled in crayon, "Me and Mommy and Daddy and glowy friend." Naomi picked it up, tears smudging the date. 1993, the year Lila's mother vanished. "All this time, you were the bridge." The hologram dimmed. Lila's voice softened. The entity wasn't evil, just lonely. "We trapped it, Jax." For millennia, it watched civilizations rise and fall through its prison bars. Outside, the star pulsed once, a warm, golden beat. The observatory's flowers tilted toward it, blooming impossibly fast. "So what now?" Jax whispered. "We wait for the next apocalypse." Lila's hologram dissolved into starlight, her final words echoing, "Teach them to listen." As dawn broke, Naomi found Jax on the roof, staring at the fading stars. "We're keeping the observatory," she said, "turning it into a school." Lila's friend left schematics. Ways to communicate, not just observe. He nodded, eyeing the constellation forming Lila's initials. "Think she's out there? Like really out there?" A breeze carried the scent of jasmine, Lila's perfume. The star winked once, its light catching Evelyn's pendant where it lay. The once dead flower in its chain unfurled anew. Naomi pocketed the pendant with a sly smile. "Let's find out." Miles below, children gathered at the observatory's new gates. Above them, the star's light danced across a freshly painted mural. A woman in a sleek black suit, hand in hand with a supernova, whispering secrets to the wind. And somewhere between gravity and grace, laughter echoed, this time in harmony. Here is the story ends. If you enjoyed and want to watch more thrilling sci-fi adventures, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Dive into epic battles, explore distant galaxies, and join brave heroes as they fight for survival against impossible odds. Let us know in comments if you want next chapters to publish soon. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and become part of the journey. Together, we'll keep the last light burning. Subscribe now and let the adventure continue.